I do question like, oh my God, I'm not like an hourglass figure.
Mhm.
Like I'll question that, but never not take the opportunity not to date the guy because I don't think I've dated anybody that it looks better than me anyway. So
Hey!
Talk your shit,
See,
sis.
that's what I
Yes,
needed.
Sharon,
That's what I
so
needed. Like,
right. So
drop.
I don't think
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Shapely TV. This is the X Factor episode. We're going to be sharing some lovely, funny, amazingly horror-filled stories, from our ex experiences and, a moment for reflection. The year is coming to an end. In 2021, we want to be our best selves. So I'm Aya, and you can find me across all platforms at Shapely Events.
I'm Toya. You can find me at Wavy Toya on Instagram. On Twitter, it's Toya Do It Big. And yeah, those are the two most important ones.
I'm Sharon. You can find me on Instagram at Giggly Coco.
and I'm Mitzi. You can find me on IG at ITZMTZ.
So, before we continue, the drinking word of the day is going to be X. Why not, right? Y'all about to get twisted. So if you're 21 and only if you're over 21, every time you hear the word X, take a little sip for us. Okay. So diving right in, the year is coming to an end. And I'm single. Who else feel like sharing?
I'm single.
I'm single. So all the single ladies are in here today. And I spend a lot of time now that I have nobody to cuddle with, reflecting on, my past relationships and some stories and things like that. And the one that comes to mind that I really want to share, and it's because, Toya and I were talking about this the other day, is I was dating this guy, and I feel like I really missed my opportunity for when he was ready for me, because I wasn't confident enough in myself to feel that I was deserving of him. So I chose wrong. And needless to say, I'm single now.
That's where you hear the womp 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 music.
Yeah, I did it in my head. I didn't want to say it out loud.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, he looks too good. He's too this. He's like, why would
Why
he
me?
want? Yeah, like why would he want me? And like he can have like any girl. And I feel like I let those insecurities and confidence issues. I definitely miss the ship on that. And he ain't shaking for. I done pigeon carrier, send a letter to him, mail, everything. Like he ain't trying to hear nothing from me. I chose wrong. And yeah, that's my L. I don't know.
You know what though? That happens to the best of us. And sometimes, we always talk about on the show on Shapely about, like we're all about body positivity and like, being proud and confident in ourselves. And it just sucks that in that situation you weren't like who you are today.
Yeah.
So like you meant like it was just timing, but maybe it would have probably been so different,
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, the way I look at stuff like that, when you miss an opportunity, like whenever something else presents itself, you won't miss it because now you're prepared. Like you wasn't prepared for him back then when you really think about it. So it would have probably not worked anyway, just because you weren't where you are today.
Right. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll go last because I just feel like my ex story is just like it's so dramatic. Okay. Look at the shit. Oh man.
Listen. I've never felt the way Aya has felt. I feel in life we always miss opportunities, period. And I think that nobody is me. So if I'm not for that person, then I'm not for that person. But I've never felt like, oh my, I do question like, oh my God, I'm not like an hourglass figure. Like I'll question that, but never not take the opportunity not to date the guy because I don't think I've dated anybody that it looks better than me anyway. So.
Hey!
Talk your shit,
See,
sis.
that's what I needed. That's what I needed. Like,
I mean, that's the way that I feel. Like you have to love yourself, and I have a lot of, you know, I don't like my cellulite. I don't like my thighs. My legs are too big. Like, you know, but it is what it is. Like if you don't love yourself, then what's the point?
Yeah.
You know. So I'm okay with missing an opportunity if I missed it. And that's it. You know, you meet somebody, you think they're you're forever, and then a year later, you're like, oh, I'm fine without him. You know, like it just happens. You know, it happens to the best of us.
Do we feel like, you know, because I feel like exes are exes for a reason. So, like, are there any regrets that you guys have with your exes?
I am the queen of dipping my toe back into the ex pool. Like, so y'all gonna have to skip me because I ain't got no good advice for near one of y'all.
Well, my only regret was like staying small.
I mean, I think that's why you two are best friends. I really don't go back to an ex. I'm not really interested.
But you know, what you're saying now, Sharon, to be honest, like now I've adopted Sharon's perspective on it. As far as like I will not give second chances anymore. I gave my children's father a lot of chances, but like that was like pretty much like the love of my life. Like that was,
and that's okay because I feel like you have a connection when you have children with him. If you want to give him 100 chances, that. But if I'm not married to you and I have no kids or property or nothing with you, I'm out. Like I don't need to stay.
Sharon used to
what am I staying for?
Run.
There's no need. There's no need.
What do you think, Mitz?
Like my whole thing was I knew I should have left like way earlier than I should have, but then I just hung around because I said, okay, maybe things will get better, and you know, but it didn't. And then, you know, now like if there's some things and I addressed it with you and it's not being addressed, all right, I'm out.
Right.
That's it. I don't have time.
I feel like we're at the like I just feel like I'm too old now. Like I don't have the luxury of like playing games with you. Like if you cross me,
girl, if you're old, I'm ancient.
I'm just saying, like I just feel like I don't have the luxury of giving you a lot of chances. Like you show me one time, I believe you like right away. Like I'm
yeah.
And we always want to give men the benefit of the doubt, but if the tables were turned, we don't get the same return. It's never like, oh, she messed up. Like, let me talk to her again. Or I'm not.
It's not because men are so fragile. You can't hurt their feelings one time, but then they're running you through the mud.
Like whenever. They have 50 babies on us, and we have just one. They don't want to talk to us no more.
In the situation I was talking about, it's funny because like he messed up. Like we were dating for on and off for years.
For a while, yeah.
And I was just like, cool. Like I messed up. Like you that hurt? Crickets, lights out. It was lights out for Aya. I was like,
whatever.
Can I get back one of them chances I gave you? Can I please?
It's always been that way, I think, with guys. I mean,
you can't hurt them.
Yeah, I can't think of a guy that I know that like I felt like, well, I guess maybe my ex felt like he gave me a lot of chances. Meanwhile, we all looking at him like, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So
honestly, in my situation, like they all like really come back, and it's I don't want to like, you know, pat my back, but like the majority of my exes always end up hitting me back up again, and I just eye roll like. I'm not interested. Like what you want, devil? Not today. Satan.
And what made you? What do you think made you that way, Sharon? Where it's like you like I don't no backseas. Like I'm good.
Yeah, like have you always been like that?
I went backseas maybe once. And at the end of the day, backseas for 3 years, it didn't work out. You know, all the rumors were true. He always made me feel guilty because you know, you throw people's shit out the house, like. But at the end of the day, like, because I just feel like, you know, and relationships are just different. Every relationship is different. All my relationships have been different. The best relationship I've had was my boyfriend that passed away. But in general, like, I just feel like you put so much into it, and you don't get that back ever. Like,
No.
I always do extra. You cook, you clean, you want to help them, you want to do this. I want to do that, but I want you to do that for me also.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like nowadays, I don't know, maybe I'm just super jaded because like I put a lot into my previous relationship that I was in for like, 10 years. That was like one of my most significant relationships. And then prior to that, I did put in a lot with my other ex who I was with for like 2 to 3 years on and off. But like that was my bad because like, I'm definitely an owner of like I'll take my L's and I wear them proudly. So like I should have realized that I was investing too much because I was being very hopeful in those situations that it would like work out, and then but not really paying attention to all the signs that this ain't gonna work out. And you're wasting your time.
See, I think a lot of I can speak for me. Like sometimes, in my experiences in traveling and having workshops and stuff and meeting people, like a lot of people feel like there's just nobody else for them.
Some people
know what
feel
I'm
that
saying?
way.
Like,
Yeah.
You know what's scary? What you just said.
What?
My mother asked me that when I was reconciling with my ex. My mother was like, "What? So you think this is it? Like, there's nobody else?" And I was just like, "Holy shit!" Like I never even thought like maybe that was something I thought, but didn't really realize. So
a lot of people, I know there's points where I felt like people don't believe me when I say nobody tries to holler at me. Like nobody. I can have on my best outfit. I could have on. I could be Beyonce. Nobody hollers at me. My DMs are dry. Okay, dry. Email dry. And sometimes you're like, dang, like nobody want to talk to me. So I identify with those people is all I'm saying. Look at Sharon. Look at Sharon.
We're all looking at you like,
sometimes you could reach out to the person that you have a crush on or that you find appealing, or
I do.
I know I'm very old fashioned. Women expect men to do, to reach out or make the first move, but sometimes it's not like that. Maybe he thinks, oh, she's not gonna talk to me. She owns a business. She owns a house. Men think like that.
Yeah,
and then
sometimes they're insecure as well.
Like nothing became of it because like the ones that I made the first move, I felt like nothing became of them.
Well, you tried though, right?
Yeah, I'll do it for fun, but like,
then you X them out. Like if they're not for you, you X them out. You move right along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just the way they do.
I'm here playing tic-tac-toe.
So let me get a little scratch. Let me get a scratch pad of crushes. Somebody gonna be real drunk right now with all them.
You gonna be tipsy.
Okay, now to counter that, what do we feel that we could have done better? Because you see those memes where people say, "Oh, is a woman ever gonna admit that she's wrong?"
That's
or
true.
Such and such. And
I have.
Oh, what?
Sharon, you have?
Do tell.
I think of my personality, my character. It's not always what I say; it's how I say it.
Oh, really?
I could
Tell
come
me
out.
more.
I could come out abrasive when I want to get my point across, and I don't mean to, or just my face, gestures,
serious face,
my eye roll, my eyebrows to my hairline. Like I know, and slowly but surely, like I try. I really, really try. Sometimes I practice what I'm gonna say.
Really?
Yeah, I've done
that, Sharon. Like for real, because I always just picture you as somebody.
With my ex in 2014, when I had to tell him something, I kind of practiced, and it's still. He said I was,
too abrasive.
I treated him like my son. Like I spoke to him like my son, in no form, shape, or manner that I think I spoke to him crazy. But then again, I'm not the person that's hearing me.
Receiving it, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You want to
But
break
I
the
do,
law?
I'm apologetic.
Uh-huh.
I do apologize. But you know, like I said, guys really are like rough, you know, when it comes to second chances, they don't want to hear it, whatever. And I'm okay with that because I don't care for second chances either.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at least you were able to acknowledge that, because you can't help how people receive things, because like, for instance, one of my friends, you could have said something with the best intents, no tone, and still takes offense to it.
Wow.
Like no matter what.
That's
And you know, you can't help it. Like I can't sugarcoat everything, even though
Right.
what you could have said wasn't bad. It's just because that's how they think and they're always defensive.
yeah.
Whatever you say is received negatively. So, you know,
Sometimes
in
it's
that
not
case,
about
it is what it is.
Because some people only receive the criticism, like they hang on to the criticism part.
They don't get the
Or
full picture.
Yeah,
whole-
but
right.
they don't understand yet the amount of effort you put into trying to be as tactful as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And some
People
people are
don't
really sensitive.
people just don't accept constructive criticism. That's just
Yeah,
an all
that's
about
what it
thing.
is.
You know, they think they're perfect, and if you say something that bothers you and they don't like it, they're always gonna feel the way. If you tell me something, I'm gonna try to fix it. You know, maybe it'll take me a day, maybe it'll take me a year, but I'm gonna try
4
Yeah.
years.
if I want to make the
Wow.
relationship work.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
I see you,
like, I'll
Alex,
punch you.
comment.
I'm gonna need you to say that nicer so I can receive it better, okay?
You know, as someone who like, you know, I am definitely one of those people who I don't like any criticism whatsoever. And it has taken me, it's really hard for me to receive criticism. But like, I know that, you know, what did they say? Like, you know, you get better with practice. So
Correct.
I think I've had some pretty difficult conversations with people that I really care about. I had a conversation with Aya, or like, you know, or she had a conversation with me. You know, when your friends check you, like she pulled my apron, was like, sis, come back, sis. But like it's getting, you know, I think I've gotten better.
I agree.
Yeah, like I think it's part of like, it's probably childhood trauma, like things that I went through when I was younger. So I used to be very I would compartmentalize things, and like I would retreat into isolate myself. And so I would take something that someone says, and then I would amplify the fuck out of it. And then I'm literally in the dark room crying my eyes out because of what somebody said. And I could be completely missing the whole, like the wisdom in it. But I was just, you know, a young child, like super overly emotional, and I wasn't taught to deal how to deal with those things,
how to unpack your emotions.
Yeah, so it took me a long time to like even get to this point, and it probably impacted my relationships too. Like my ex realized that about me and was like, hey, you got to stop doing that. Like that shit is like hella immature. And like I didn't look at it that way too, but then I started to understand like, oh, it is immature, and I have to find a healthier way of dealing with being uncomfortable. Because when you care about somebody and they tell you something about yourself that you know makes you don't feel good, but you like love them, and like it doesn't, it's just really hard. Like it's one of the hardest things to deal with.
I think friendships, people that could sit you aside and tell you that there's an issue or there's a problem are very important.
Yeah.
I'm a person that I don't like to sugarcoat stuff, and like I said, sometimes I don't say it the right way. But I prefer friends to pull me aside, like Aya, and you know, tell me what the issue is or what the problem is. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything with any of my friends, and whatever circle I'm in at the time. So I prefer that kind of friendship.
And that's that New York shit, you know. I respect it.
I think for me, I think there was a long time, speaking of like childhood traumas and experiences and stuff like that, in the West Indies, we would say life wasn't always a bed of roses. And I think for me, a long time, I put my professional career, like for me, it was always like, get money, get money, get money, get money. And then like your spouse at the time ends up sometimes being the coleslaw. Now, granted, to my defense, I've never really, I don't want to say I've never dated. I've never had I feel like the relationships I was in, the man was always complaining about the stuff on my plate, but never wanted to help me have less stuff on my plate. And I think that was always the issue, and we were at an impasse. So for me, it's
Right.
like I know, to me, if I go to sleep today and I wake up tomorrow, $100 bill is gonna be $100 bill. I could go to sleep today and wake up tomorrow, and the dude next to me that loved me yesterday don't love me no more. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just always like, you got to make sure you're good. You got to make sure you're good, because I've never really been in a situation where I felt like somebody
Enough
was just
trust.
always gonna make sure I was good.
Right.
And that caused me to definitely like really treat the guy I was with like the coleslaw. However, I am gonna say that I don't feel like it was 100% my thing, because I felt like if I felt that sense of trust and security, I would have felt comfortable letting go. So
that's a good
It's
thing to
hard.
talk about too, because I feel like, and I think like Black relationships,
Mhm.
sometimes I feel like, you know, there are a lot of like Black successful women, and not saying they're not Black successful men, but there's always, I know in my family, and this is how I know the trauma is, a lot of the females in my family have a hard time like letting go control of certain things. Like, especially when it comes to the bread. Like, we looking at the dude like, nope, you don't got it, I got it. Like, because like I think for me, like that was all. I remember my ex used to like say, like, hey, like, let me manage your money for you, I got it. And even if let's say he was better with the money, I just didn't trust him enough to do that, you know. And he also, even though he exhibited things that were like, there were things that I knew he could do, there were other things that would make it no.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it would come back.
Right.
So then it's like, if I can't trust you wholeheartedly, then I'm not going to trust you with this, because like, I don't trust you wholeheartedly. Like, we have issues, you know? And I think that's like the dynamic that happens. We should work on that.
Yeah. I find that I'm better with somebody who shares the same lifestyle as I do, and understands the grind and understands my level of caution, and I know what I look for now is somebody who's not going to complain about everything on the plate, but is going to say, babe, I got you.
I'll help you out.
And then
and you know what? And like, it took going through, I tell you, I feel like the exes, everybody serves a purpose. And maybe you needed that to know like what you really want, you know? Like, I think a lot of time people mistake companionship for like companionship is not enough. Like, anybody could have a body here doing nothing or doing something. Like, I need more than companionship.
Compatibility.
Yeah. I need somebody who is like-minded with me in a lot of things, and that together we can actually like build something and build a legacy together. I don't want just another body. It's enough bodies.
Yeah.
Can they share anything there, Mitts? Let me look.
She's like, you just gonna bring all the skeletons out the closet, aren't you?
The skeletons don't need to know they skeletons. That's what Mitzi said.
I mean, you know, I love to drag them, but it's not working. But it's just like what I've learned in the past is that, like, definitely, because the guys that I dated before, they always needed something, you know what I mean? And I'm like, what are you bringing to the table? Like, they need. You like how I'm living, you know, you want to do this, but what are you going to contribute?
Yes.
And I remember the last person I was with, this was like years ago, because I really haven't been in a relationship per se in years. But when I finally had it and I was like, you know what, I'm done. He's like, well, you know, you're going to go off and have a great life. And what am I supposed to do? I'm like, you can live however you want to live. I don't have control over that.
Right.
Like,
I was like, be great.
Yeah, like,
go be great.
Because it's like, oh, what am I supposed to do now? I'm like, you can do whatever you want. Like, I wasn't telling you not to do or do something.
Right.
You have to live your own life. And I was just like, wow, like, I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm supposed to stay with you so that you could be all right.
Yeah. That is
and you know what? There's a lot of people in relationships like that codependency, where they don't really know who they are outside of that person.
Yeah. My ex told me, I knew I wasn't ready for you, but I didn't want nobody else to have you.
Wow, that's some
So,
selfish
straight
ass
to the face.
shit.
One of my exes.
Wow.
I was like, oh, this how we living?
Nah, that's really selfish, bro. That's
No, it
crazy.
is. It's toxic.
That's
Yeah.
crazy as hell. So you rather me not get what I need just so that you, like, the levels of, when you really think about that deeply, that's sick as fuck.
Yep.
Y'all ain't shit.
So with all that we've learned and all that we've been through, what are we looking forward to in our next relationship? Well, do we want a next relationship? And do we want another? Look, I'm still listening. Do we want a next relationship? Do we want another relationship? And if so, what are we looking forward to?
I guess you're looking at me to go first. I think I'm still figuring out what exactly I want in a relationship. I'm trying to be like very purposeful about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of been making notes to myself of like some of the characteristics that I want in my future man, you know?
Makes sense.
So definitely someone who definitely like tells me how it is, but maybe with a little more tact.
Mhm.
And someone who's very attentive, nurturing, because I think that's my love language. Like I respond well to that.
Mhm.
And someone who's like driven like me, like very, you know, and not only just driven, but actually taking actions towards whatever they're pursuing. Because sometimes people be like, oh, I'm about this, I'm trying to do that, and they're not even working towards it. So
Okay.
that's some of the things for me.
So, I mean, I know I mentioned earlier that, you know, those are one of the things that I could have learned from, but I also felt like it was a shared responsibility. So I definitely know that that's what I'm looking forward to. If I end up in the next relationship, if somebody decides to holler at me,
Oh my
shoot
God.
me a DM, stop me when I'm on the bus, something. So yes, somebody who isn't gonna complain about everything, but is gonna, you know, lend some kind of support. It's one thing if you say, oh, you're doing too much, you got this much on your plate, and it's another thing if you're like, you know, I see you got everything going on. What can I help you with? Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same way. Let me just say, anything I ask for, I'm willing to give. So if you see me out in the street or the supermarket or the car wash or the library, you know, you could talk to me. Okay.
You're not helping your case because you're making it seem like you're unwanted.
I'm just saying thanks.
I just wanted to say on Aya's behalf that she's highly desirable. She has a lot of great assets.
Thank you. Please clean that up. Clean that up.
Nobody wants, right? That's the saying.
That's
She's acting like she's a misfit vegetable.
I know.
Well, I'm gonna say I think the most important thing for me is that I find somebody who isn't gonna cower to me, because I feel like the underlying thing, men have been threatened by me for whatever reason, but like you shouldn't be threatened by someone who's strong or someone who knows what they want. So I think finding someone who's okay with all of me.
Oh, you mean a real man?
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
A real man, if you're threatened by a woman.
You know.
She's like, if we gotta put a label on it.
I didn't want to say that, but you know, that's exactly what it is.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm a relationship person, so you know, I'm awesome. I don't know what the problem is. I know I'm not the problem, but you know,
you're never the problem, okay?
I'm never the problem. I don't know
the solution.
Get with me, your life will be right. Do you think maybe our personalities are too strong?
I definitely think that, like, I know I'm an alpha female, but like, I know that I'm an alpha female, but like, I've dated an alpha male.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I know that I'm willing to fall
submit
back.
If you know the guy got it.
Like if I feel like the guy's got it,
but that's the point about like finding the right guy though, because strong personality or not, you shouldn't have to like lower yourself down so that someone else is comfortable. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they should be able to count to you
I
whatever
told-
level that you're at.
I told Toya that the other day. She cursed me out walking out my house.
Because when Sharon just said, like, when she said submit, I didn't want to use that word. What I wanted to say is that I'm willing to fall back and let you do things because I trust that you got it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not submission. I don't like that word. And I don't like the fact that, like, with our cultures, it's like this whole thing that, like, we have to lower ourselves for them to be a man. And I think that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who came up with that, like, Western concept of what manhood and being a woman is all about, but I'm not fucking with that shit.
I think that there's going to be times where one has to take the lead and the other has to take the lead because we both don't know everything. Right?
Exactly.
And I think we both have to be fine with
that. Right.
And we both have to be confident in enough to know that, okay, this is not my skill set. I know my partner got it, and vice versa.
And it's not like attack on your manhood or your womanhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
because there's just certain things you can't do, but that's why you have a counterpart to help you with that.
Exactly.
I don't know. That's just what it is. Yin and yang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with the 50-50 relationship. I feel like everybody should put in 100%. So that 50-50, that's bullshit to me. Like, I think I put in 100%, you put in 100%, and we work with it.
I think, though, to say on that, like, last piece there, that Sharon, that piece of wisdom you dropped there, I agree with you, but I think what happens is that people take that so literally, like the 50-50 thing. They're like, oh, I guess that means like I pay 50% of all the bills and do the like, no, that's obvious.
Where's the men that pay all the rent? Where's the men that pay the whole mortgage? Where?
So wait, sidebar, there's a big discussion about this online that I saw, and like, guys are not trying to pay all the rent.
No.
Yeah. Like, they want you to pay. Like,
I had an ex and he didn't get a job that he wanted to get. And the first thing he told me was he let go of the relationship because he didn't get that job. And he wasn't going to make me move to Florida to go half on his mortgage. That's the first thing he says. He's like, I'm not moving you here so you can go half on a mortgage. Like, the mortgage is a man's job. We pay the bills. Like, that's
and
it.
he was very traditional in that way. Like, again, now we're talking about gender norms and like what, you know, what things from our culture that we still adhere to.
Yeah.
I think I'm not too progressive, but like there are certain things that I do feel like a guy should do.
Right?
Yeah, like I'm not getting crazy with the gender stuff, but where I draw the line is the whole like lowering. I have to lower myself.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Like, I'm not doing none of that shit. Like, sorry.
That's exactly what she said as she stomped out the crib. No, let me. I don't care.
I'm not doing it, and I guess that's why I'm single. Because you know.
Yeah, but what I saw, like a lot of guys, and you know, and I'm not saying that there aren't men that won't do this for you, but they want you to like go in half on everything. Like, why do you want, like, if you want someone to live with you, why are you asking them to contribute half of everything? Like, why don't you take on certain things and then your partner takes on certain things? Like, there are certain responsibilities that, you know, okay, I'm gonna take care of all this if you take care of all that. Yeah. Like, why am I? Because then at that point, it's like a roommate situation. If I have to pay half of everything.
Yeah, in my previous relationship, it was more like that, where like I paid for certain things and he paid for certain things. But I do wish that he just paid for more things.
Yeah, like I don't know, and this isn't to say like I think like, you know, I'm not supposed to pay for anything, but like
because you know that's gonna be somewhere in them comments. Like,
no, but if it's a partnership, then like I don't want to treat this like this is a contract, and if you don't pay your half,
I think we don't say that.
I think our next episode should be bills. That should be the next episode.
Can you pay
my bills?
No, because then the lines can get very, very blurry, and then like, oh, you need to pay half of the groceries. Like, no, I'm gonna buy groceries, and then I'm gonna cook.
Right.
And then we're both gonna eat this. Like, yeah, we're both gonna eat this. So like, I'm not gonna nickel and dime you and say, hey.
You're like, give me half that carrot and half that ox. No,
you do that because in my head, like you do that with your roommate. You don't do that with your significant other. And there are many times you go out and then, no, I got it. It's okay. Like, you don't do that with your roommate.
Soon you're going to be putting your name on the milk.
Right. Like, who wants to do that?
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
So the next segment is events we're looking forward to. Woo, woo, woo. So if you guys have been following us on social media, you know that we're going to Cancun. We've teamed up with BBT and 2021. Listen, we got to do something. Shapely Ski is taking place in not too long from
January.
Now. Yeah, January. So you can catch us there. There's also the Miami Mega Bash going on. There's also the Fort Lauderdale Bash going on. So 2021 is looking pretty bright.
And where can they find all these wonderful events, Aya?
www.shapelyevents.com.
That's right.
And also you can find a men's section there because there's a section for men. So so head on over. And thanks for watching. Aya of Shapely Events across all platforms, and
Toya, Wavy Toya on Instagram again.
I'm Sharon. I'm on Instagram, Giggly Coco.
And I'm Mitzi. You can find me on IG at ITZNTZ.
And thanks for watching, guys. It's a wrap.
Thank you.
Hey!